Hello, this is Real World Audio, and welcome to another episode about loudspeakers. And I'm going to call this video Enjoy the Silence. And I tell you shortly why. Have you ever wondered that when you are looking at loudspeaker reviews and you see the top models that companies come up with, and they're all advertised as perfect loudspeakers? So, what's going on with that? Especially that next year they're coming up with a newer model that is even more perfect, costs twice as much, and whatnot. Or if it's a good company, they don't make it cost twice as much, maybe it costs a little bit more, but it's perfected and it's going on. Like if you go 20 years in the future, that company will have maybe like a dozen or more upgrades to that model, which is present day sold as perfect product. And then going to the future, couple generations later, it's perfect product again. And when you look back, so even if you look at loudspeakers made today and the technology used, what's inside, it's not radically different compared to what we have 50 years ago. And if you use loudspeakers, like use like the 40s technology, like the Altec voice of the theater speakers, and you give them a chance to have an optimized crossover, which is still using the 40s technology, nothing added to it, capacitors, resistors, inductors, transformers, autoformers, it will be still something that that many would call today as wow, perfection. And and that's not thinking about anything added in the last 80 years, just basically time traveling back to the 40s, but of course not using the same parts as in the 40s, because you cannot. We are almost a century beyond that point. You have to use parts that are made today, and and you're going to have something really amazing. But what was my point with saying all of that? And that my point is that loudspeaker manufacturers are really reluctant to talk about the compromises that they have chosen for their speakers, because there is no such thing as a perfect loudspeaker. Every single loudspeaker sold, or even if it's not sold, someone makes it at home, every single one is a balance of compromises. Even if it's state of the art, even if it uses some high tech something, it still has a myriad of compromises. And when you happen to find an honest manufacturer, then they will tell you what are the compromises that they have chosen for their model. And occasionally you see such interviews with people on what were the compromises chosen for their low end, maybe their entry level models, their mid level models. We hear a lot of that, a lot of the compromises that entry level loudspeakers use or have to go by with. But when we get to the highest level, then no one wants to admit to any compromises they made during the creation. So that's why my video title is Enjoy the Silence, because if you ask the engineers, like, okay, what are the compromises you have made for your top of the line loudspeaker, then your answer will be enjoy the silence, right? That's it. You won't hear anything. And actually, if you are talking to the engineer, just privately, and he's your friend, he will tell you all about that, no problem. But saying these things for a reviewer, or putting them out in a magazine, or putting them out online, is suicide for your company. because that we have as customers and the reviewers providing for us, we have created a really bad customer culture in such a way that we believe that entry level loudspeakers have compromises, but the top level ones, wow, they figured out everything, they're perfect. And that's why people are unwilling to face that when they talk about a loudspeaker, that come on, like the BMW Nautilus, how come it can have any shortcomings? It costs a king ransom, and it's perfect, it's sold as perfect. Where is the compromise there? And there's a million compromises. But if the company says, yeah, we have compromised this and this and that, and then there's the question, hey, you guys are asking that much money for a compromised product? And it will not sell. And it will not be reviewed by any reviewer as the perfect loudspeaker. It will be reviewed as a compromised but very expensive loudspeaker. Who wants to own such a thing? No one. So that's why you guys need someone like me to give you a reality check. That's why I made my channel, I named it as the real world audio, because I want to link back the experiences that we have with audio to the real world. So like cut away the mustard a little bit of the hype, of the glory, and give you a peek of what's going on behind the curtains. And this is what's going to make sense of the audio world, of the audio industry, how it works, what's happening, and why you can do so much even yourself. If you have a pair of loudspeakers, don't be afraid to get to learn about them, what makes them tick, what makes them work, and how you can improve on them, because even you as a layperson can improve on any loudspeaker if you have the proper knowledge. Yeah, so I think that's what I wanted to say for this video, is that every loudspeaker is a compromise. And circling back to my speakers that I talk a lot in my videos about, I call them the VOL, I just call them the VOL. That's abbreviation of the name I gave them, Voice of Lancelot. So that's why it's VOL. Because why the name? I will tell you about the name, how I chose it, in another video. So for now, thank you for watching. I hope I'm giving information to you guys, giving knowledge and a different viewpoint that is helpful for everyone, and that just helps to broaden your vision on the field of audio. Have an awesome day. Listen to music. Bye bye.